Things My Way, episode number 4. Now, if you are watching, I need for you right now to click like and click share. Why you still watching? Go down there and hit the thing and share it with everybody right now so everybody can know that Larry Reid's live show, Reading Things My Way, is on right now.
It's a brand new day. Yes, I'm reading things. Reading things my way.
One of the great things about doing this show is that we get to walk through our pain, discover our purpose, and grow as a family and as a community together. And one of the key things that everybody must be doing right now, if you want to grow and be your best self, you better get some therapy. Hallelujah. And we have a therapist. And it's time for us to sit down with the therapist one more again. Now, if you ain't watched it the first time, go back and watch it, then come back and watch this because it's about to get real heavy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Hi.
Pretty good.
Hi.
Interesting to see how this is gonna go.
Well, I am glad to hear that. So what's been going on? What have I missed?
Oh, who gonna go first?
You might as well.
Should I go first?
Go first.
You think I should?
Yeah. Yes.
What's your first and last name? Rosetta
Delancey.
Delancey. And
Yes.
your name of your company?
True Compassion Development Center.
Okay, all right. Girl. I can't believe what. Okay, last time we came here, we had a great breakthrough. It was a wonderful conversation. I took your advice, took them out the blue. It's a work day, went to go eat. We done that, and everything was so great, so lovely. And then the daughter's just looking away. I was going through the house one day. You know, one of my friends, well, a few of my friends smoke weed, but they're adults. And so they had been over to the house, so sometimes they have a little lingering scent. But this time, this thing was strong. And I smelled it. I said, something's not right. I kept it to myself. I said, maybe they had been to the house. Then the next time I smelled it, I put it in a text thread. And Lisa said, well, your friend had been over here, so he probably, that's him. I said, no, he came, but this is a stronger scent. Long story short, once again. Again. Oh, this is like third, fourth time?
Fourth.
My eldest daughter. I discovered not too long ago that Zari told her mom, and she told both of us sitting together that she likes the high feeling, and that is very concerning. Number one is because she comes from a line of addicts, me, my father, and his dad, and I just have a fear. I know that once your fear comes near, so I'm working with it, but I have a strong caution and a strong concern because I don't want her living her life looking for one high after the next. I don't have a problem with her wanting to smoke weed or even smoking weed. Two issues is the way she go about doing it, having drug dealers to throw it over my gate, give out our address. And then there's a statement she made, I don't know if she told you, she said that she's addicted to the high. I said, let's give it a little piece. That's from a parent standpoint. Because I don't know, developing a relationship with a high, I'm concerned, is she gonna go to other drugs?
What I meant by I like the feeling of getting high was basically just, it wasn't like no euphoria type. Like, it's not like I'm like gonna do hardcore drugs, like I'm doing cocaine, like it's not even like that. It was more so for fun.
Since the last family session that we've had, I've noticed growth in the girls, especially when it comes to communicating, being honest about things that they're experiencing. I know that there has been some setbacks, but I think overall they have been making more progress, especially with Exaria explaining or telling her parents that She has desires to smoke weed.
When I said I'm addicted to the feeling like high, I meant like, but there's
Don't change it.
No, there's different levels. There's
Okay,
different levels
okay.
when it comes to that. And I don't feel like I can go any further than I've already gone. Like when I did get high, I got extremely high, like past my limit. And like that one time I was like, I can't like control myself, and I didn't like that.
I'm taking gummies to go to sleep. Delta 8.
Not gum.
A half one. But the last half one I took, I stayed up right through it. I said, wait a minute. I said, my tolerance is lifting. So I know how it can be a gateway. It can open up. So that's my concern. That's the concern I have. So when I smell that through the house, of course, there was a whole bunch of they were struggling with telling, I'm trying to say it in a nice way. They were lying their ass off and Overton.
I was very disappointed. I felt like a dog snooping through stuff.
She had to dig out the entire, both rooms, so both of them was involved in this.
She came to me, she's like, hey, I'll give you this if you don't do this. And I was like, okay.
What was the thing you didn't do, not tell?
I cannot tell that because that's a secret that's between me and her.
Oh, now she's.
You better honor that. That's sister stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. You don't like
Acknowledge.
Oh, you did good. They only can learn from their mom.
You know what?
I love that.
Acknowledge.
I'm acknowledging it.
That's your child. Right there.
Oh my God.
Rachel, y'all
Jesus Lord.
named you Larry.
I just asked her what she wanted.
How can I express myself while keeping the secrets? I mean, I can just like give him a little hint to what is the secret, but I'm not gonna tell him what the secret is because it's between me and her. And yeah, I would never, no.
How do I still maintain the secret while like being in front of my parents? That's a lot. It's kind of hard, but at the same time, I can just think about how much that secret meant to my sister, and I just won't say anything. I'll give hints too sometimes, but normally I don't give a hint.
I felt like a canine.
I hated to see her go through that. I told her. Did they tell you what I said? I went to, I said, you know what? Y'all saying see your mama ramaging through this stuff. I said, go tell her the truth. Just tell her everything. You remember me saying that? I said, you shouldn't want to see your mama going through it. She was going through every little piece, every little thing.
I try to have open conversations with my children. Exaria especially, because I know that she suffers with depression. And I know that Zoe suffers with anger. And I try to get them to be honest. And I'm the parent that, okay, you did it. I'm not gonna hold it over your head. Let's keep it moving. That's the type of parent I am. So for them not to really like seeing me trying to find it, looking like a fool to me, trying to find it, looking here and looking there, and they just staring at me. I'm like, it really disappointed me. I was really let down by that.
The reality is, these girls were gonna let Lisa search. They weren't gonna give her nothing. But I went to them in the midst of this. I said, look what your mama doing. I said, look how she having to go through this. It's been an hour and a half. Just tell your mama where y'all got the stuff. I
really hope we're past that, because I don't know if I could take that again. That was a lot to take in, and it's drugs. I'm not even gonna try to dress it up. Oh, it's just weed. No, it's drugs, and it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? So I was really, it was too much for me.
She had a grinder. She had
all the way to that level.
So you had a whole
stash.
Yeah. So you was doing a whole science project, basically.
First of all, my mom did not find the box. I gave it to her. So it was like in like, you know, like the little doors that be on the side of that, like near the attic. Yeah, it was in there. I passed it to her, and like when she seen it, I was like, dang, that's over. It's over. But that's my exact thought. Like, that was just what it was.
The thing is that her baby sister loved her so much and looked up to her. She just started doing what she was doing. Is that true?
That is correct.
But it was not. It was willingly. It's not like she didn't want to.
She didn't force me.
I didn't
willingly
force
participated.
She offered it to me, and I was like, okay, because I was already curious about it at first. Because I already told my mom I was curious about weed. It wasn't even bad. We would just sit in the room laughing and talking. That's all.
And I feel like it was safer because we were at home.
And we would listen to music. We would like
Jump around.
break dance. Yeah.
Yeah, it came over the fence, but we was in the house. Close
We were
space.
in the house.
And a whole lot of you ain't gonna agree with this, but I'm there. If she wants to explore, I got a little patio in the back, and she want weed. Let me find the weed, and when she gets old enough, and yeah, you can smoke. You know, I want to be there to watch her blossom, even through the discovery stage, and find out where she is, what she really wants. Because right now, she enjoys the high. But you know, 17-year-old, she's changing. 18, she may get to 18, like, I'm good, I've experienced that, don't want that no more. It's concerning, but I'm willing to partner with her, and Lisa is too, as she is exploring. Because she can explore like Dora. She's an explorer. She's an explorer. Like Dora. She's an explorer. You know, so I'm just gonna let that girl go ahead and explore, and I'm gonna be watching with binoculars. So I can jump in there and save her if I need to save her. She still deserves her tail whooped, but I'm glad that she listened to what I said and came clean with me and her mom.
So what happened after that? After you guys caught the weed?
I called the cops.
Okay.
Yep, they had the cops come, yep,
And you grabbed the box.
Called the po-po.
for them to scare the hell out of
Did he scare you?
No.
I ain't think so.
But we had a conversation.
Well, see that too, to scare the hell out of her, or either to get a little sense in her. Cause he was talking like, hey, if you come back, you know, if you was 18 years old, I'd take the other, you know.
He was a really good cop.
He was a good guy. God bless
He
him.
was laughing at me.
He was what?
Laughing at me.
Oh, my baby was.
He probably could tell. How did you feel, Zoe, when we called the cops?
At first she thought I was going to jail, so she was like, no.
Yeah, but she was mad at us. She was mad at us for calling the cops.
Yeah, not only that, she was mad because y'all had the cameras in my face. And I appreciate
How did you
that
feel when we
'cause
called
I
the
was
cops?
in distress.
Zoe.
I don't know. I didn't feel like any type of way. I was just like,
Because it wasn't
oh,
her.
the cops are coming. Because there's a black cop.
You should have been scared too, because won't you smoking too?
No, not at the time.
So after all of this, Miss Rosetta, she write down those. She gonna, we crazy. Anytime they write
This
that,
is to
verse,
help me to help y'all.
we crazy.
I need a pill.
Anytime they write that, verse,
What pill
We'll
am I
all
getting?
be on
Blue, red,
Zoloft.
or yellow?
we're gonna be on Zoloft. So, Miss Rosetta, you know, after all of this going through, doors stayed on. But then we blinked,
You blink.
and we were back in the house full of contact.
Yep.
So she didn't stop. She continued
Hell
after
no.
the police was called.
After the police was called.
The popo. So after all of that drama that happened in the middle of the night, calling the cops, the weed and all of that, I made a phone call immediately to Locklear Service Company. That is Locklear. Nathaniel is what I called him. And I said, I need for you to get over here first thing tomorrow and come take these doors down. He came over here, started taking the doors down piece by piece, every door in that room, for the closet and for the bathroom and the main door, coming down. Took them doors down. Kendra helped me. They said the doors were so darn heavy.
Reid called me and said, I need you to come take every door off the girls' room their closet, and their bathroom. And I said to myself, I know he didn't just say bathroom. So I came, then when I got here, I said, just want to make sure of what the job is you want me to do. You said bathroom as well. He said, yeah, bathroom and all.
How do I feel about the doors being taken off of the room? I definitely agree with that. And I could be wrong, but I think I am one of the ones that advise that because there's so much going on. It's been an ongoing situation, month after month, situation after situation, to where something has happened and they're like, how you get this in or how that happened? So I think taking the doors off of the room was a very wise and smart decision to do.
What would I have done as far as how they're disciplined? I agree with that. I mean, because this house is entirely too big. So it's hard to have your eyes everywhere. You know, the downstairs, your downstairs room is all the way away from your kids. You have to have, I don't know, outside of cameras, yeah, that would have been a move for me. I would have removed the doors too, especially if there's been a whole lot of sneaking and dishonesty and mistrust. They have to do something. I mean, I didn't have a problem with them removing the doors.
How I felt about the doors, like, coming down was, at first I was like really irritated. Like when I woke up the next day, I was really mad. I was like, why are the doors not here? And then I got used to it after everything.
How do I feel about losing my doors? I didn't like it at first. Like I really did not like it. I didn't even halfway understand as to why I lost my door. But then when I sat and thought about it, yeah, I could see as to why, because of how many times I've done that.
And then I installed cameras. Now, the camera's been installed. The only person can see it is Lisa. I don't have access to it, because they need their privacy, and they all got the same body part. I can't bear seeing my children naked. That happened one time when they were sending them nasty texts to them niggas, and I went in that phone, and I like the throw all the way up.
But that's good though. I just want to commend you for the cameras. One, not just because of the cameras in the room, but the fact that you trust her enough to only Let me finish.
Okay, all right.
Just for her to have access for the girls. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing that you respect that, because you have some parents or some fathers that they don't care because they just want to control everything that's happening. So that's good that you actually only allow her and trust her judgment with that of, you know what I'm saying, monitoring them.
See, that's what we got counselor for. You're welcome.
You want to start? You're right. Good. So that's good.
You good. You're good.
Yeah. So you were saying now that she's only going to have access to the cameras, and you were saying about the doors being removed and the cameras, and you was.
Yeah, well, that's what happened since. That's all of what happened since our last session.
Me and Zoe tussle.
Say what?
Ooh.
Say what?
I was just about to get that.
Ooh, Zoe, what happened?
Now let me tell y'all what happened, because I was there, y'all won't. Me and Shamako, we're on our way to do what niggas do in Atlanta. And that's hookah, strip clubs, and shop and buy chains and jewelry. But that's not what we were about to go do. I'm just messing. We weren't about to go do that. We were just gonna go out, because we men of God, so we won't do all that kind of going on, at least not on Sundays. But anyway, and so we were going out the door, and we heard something. Well, actually, Mako heard it, but I'm so immune to it. I heard Lisa's voice calling Zoe, Zoe! And like, Lisa, and Shamako was like, that's Lisa? I said, yeah. She called like that? I said, yeah, Zoe must be doing something she ain't did right. And then I heard Zoe's voice, and then this loud, which was my oldest daughter having a fit, because what was happening was that Lisa and Zoe put hands on each other like they're in the streets. Thanks be to God, we ran up them stairs fast as we could. Ran up them stairs, and I near about died. I did, because you know, I don't be moving that fast nowadays. I'm not running track or nothing no more. Marco made it in there before I did. To break them apart. That's right, you heard it right. Break them a darn part because they were fighting. When I walked in, Lisa had my daughter's hair in her hand, whipping her upside her head. Now let me show y'all a little piece of it. We can't show all of this because we want nobody to end up in jail, and I don't want nobody flagging my darn video. But here's a little piece.
I know you heard me the first time I called your name. You heard me when I called your name, did you not? Yes. Turn that computer off. I was trying to come down here, but I can't. You weren't trying. You was leaning back in the chair. Shut up! Okay. Sit right here. I didn't do anything. You did. You disrespected me. I called you and you heard me. You didn't come. I'm just doing something else. I'm gonna hit you in the face. I'm trying. I said, bro, get off me, bro. Who you think you is? Get off me, bro. What are you doing?
That's crazy. I can't believe Zoe actually swung on her mother. And Miss Lisa fighting her back. That's crazy.
Thank God for the cameras, because it's because of the cameras we were able to catch the action that was happening between Lisa and Zoe. World star!
So when I got into the room, I was amazed. I worked with kids for over 20 years, so I knew that when I got in there, the anger that I seen in Zoe was not normal. At the same time, I was in shock because I could not believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe that it wasn't discipline like we know discipline to be. It was like daughter hitting mom, mama is saying taking control. Like you ain't. It was.
Looking at that, Zoe seems like quiet, and Lisa seems quiet, but you could tell she doesn't play around. So watching that, I was shocked at Zoe's reaction to her mom, and I was like, oh my God. So I couldn't believe it. Like if it wasn't recorded, I wouldn't think it would, happen.
I was shocked that it actually happened, but I wasn't surprised in Zoe's, how she dealt with when her mom came in the room.
When this altercation happened between Lisa and Zoe, I was out and about, running around town, taking care of business, and I get a text message from Reid and said, I just broke up a fight between Lisa and Zoe. So I was like, what?
When I first seen the video with Lisa and Zoe, my first reaction was like, what the hell? That escalated really quick. It's a little disturbing. I had to get myself together. It's like, it bothers me a little bit.
Now, I'm gonna say this. Was I surprised? Yes. The other side of me was not surprised because I knew that there's some things between Lisa and Zoe. And to tell you the truth, they're pretty much the same person because both of them go mute when it comes to what has them in pain, what makes them feel a whole lot of emotion, especially sadness. They shut it down. They are the exact same person. But at that moment, they both were feeling and decided to take their fist and their hands and feel on each other.
To be honest, I just couldn't believe that it happened. And just as much as she probably felt like she went too far, I felt like I went too far. And I was like, and so when I could tell in her face that she was really, truly sorry. But because, you know, your emotions are still up high, I didn't want to give her a false, you know, I didn't want to give her nothing false at that moment, because everything that just happened was like really real.
At first, it was like, oh, she's just coming in my room. But how she came in was aggressive, and I fed off of that energy, and it like exploded.
I feel like her and Shamaplo and their parenting style, they're too aggressive. That's my opinion. She's not saying that, she's just staring at me. I'm really not the aggressive parent when it comes to our girls. That really is Lisa. Because when she gets upset or she gets bothered and you do not give her what she needs for you to be giving her as the mama at that time, all hell is breaking loose, and daddy has to come in and save everything.
I felt so disrespected that I couldn't stop. I was like, how could because I kept thinking about all the stuff that I do for her, all the stuff that I try to, you know, try to help with Zoe. I spent so much time with her and all these kind of things, and for her to just do that, I was like, wow. But then when I thought about it, I was like, I could have did some things differently. When I went back and watched it, I did see where she was trying to de-escalate, but I was already gone. Because when I asked her, did she hear me? And she said no, and I knew that she heard me, that was it for me. After that, I don't remember anything else until I was standing on the other side.
Woman of God. I said, how do we get to this? I said, how do we get to this?
It was boiling.
And so was trying to pull her breeze back. And so she was full of crap.
Full blast.
Walking in and seeing the altercation, I was definitely traumatized, because normally stuff like that you see on YouTube or something like that. That's something I watch on YouTube.
When it comes to having aggressive co-parenting, one parent has to be more level-headed than the other, but I think if they continue to have a united front and communicate what's happening, I think that aggression will actually kind of subside a little, but it's something that has to be intentionally worked on when it comes to communicating with each other about what's going on with the girls and what they're feeling in that moment, instead of just jumping out to frustration and demonstrating it physically.
I totally get it. Now, I wouldn't have thrown blows, but I definitely understand. I think she was a little bit overwhelmed and lost it, because I don't see how it would escalate. I didn't connect with how it escalated to a whole match. Like, I was expecting to hear the 3 bells, ding, 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 like break it up. What the hell? It's my God, baby, you know?
My daughter and I, we haven't had anything that would cause us to have that type of altercation. But if we were to have the altercation, she would be on the ground. I wouldn't want her to try me.
Have I ever felt enraged with my parents to react like that? No.
If I was a parent and that happened, I wouldn't have came in the room like that. I would have came and asked why are you like not answering me in a calm manner, you know?
Yeah, if I was a parent, I probably wouldn't have took it that far as to put hands on the child in the first place, because I know that would have got the child heated anyway. Like, no child really wants their parents to put hands on them in the first place. So it was kind of an eye-opener.
I think in that situation, because of the way the conversation went, is when Lisa realized, okay, Zoe really suffered greatly while we were in Florida.
I think that since the altercation has happened, the communication between them has improved, but they still have more work to be done because of what happened to Zoe while she was living in Florida, and her mom wasn't always aware what happened. So I think that the trust still needs to continue to build between them because of what happened. And I think since the incident has happened and mom is now aware of what Zoe has experienced or continues to experience, she can be more mindful of how she approaches Zoe, in a sense of not the aggression, but more stern without being aggressive towards her. And Zoe has to be more intentional of listening to figure out what's going on around her when it comes to her mother, and not see her mother as one of her friends.
I did it with my mom, so I knew it was bound to happen. I've been saying it for years that Zoe was going to be the one, that this problem was going to happen, and it manifested. So
you ain't finished with this one yet, though. She still got a couple of years.
Zaria,
what age is you? 17?
even I can say this about even though Zaria, she do stuff, but I think it's because me and Reid raised Zaria up until she was like 4. She has a different level of, she has a different view of us.
She's had both of us. Zoe hasn't had both of us until now.
Cause Zaria can get really mad, but she ain't gonna, but so far she gonna go.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna do it. But
well, she went almost too much to it. Well, I guess it won't far, but for me it was far. She said something after I said something.
Verbally.
And maybe it wasn't that bad.
I said I didn't care. That's
See, I don't even like to hear that. I got chills. It's a trigger. I can't do that from no child. I can't.
But she ain't gonna say bro. She ain't gonna say nigga. She ain't gonna say none of that stuff. But Zoe will.
Yeah.
And I understand, because her upbringing was different.
Yeah, she didn't have both of us.
And it's part of her defense.
I can tell Zoe was not trying to fight her mom, but she was terribly disrespectful. Because if your mom calls you, I know it's been out there having me.
And on top of that, she would call her bro.
Right. That's what got me angry.
In and out.
That's what got me. I said,
let me go.
So me, I was fighting her to beat respect back into her.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is you doing?
You are just like the white masters. That's right. Beat the respect back into
So Black History Month is over.
Just let me say this to Zoe. Calling your mother bro is disrespectful, because then that means your level of respect you have for her is on the same level of respect for your friends.
Yeah.
And the level of respect for your mom should never be the same level as your friends. Or any of your parents. Any adult that you hold in high regard and have not been disrespectful towards you, anything like that should never be on the same playing field as your parents. I mean, as your friends, excuse me.
But you know, it goes back to the first session. Remember the first session I said, I share what she shared with me.
Yeah.
That was very evident. I don't know what that fight did, but it's like it made everybody be like, okay, we see there's a problem. Because I knew Zoe felt like that she probably isn't the favorite, or that Lisa and Zara always getting on her. So that came up. That was in the, it was, you can touch it, you can feel it. So it's like, oh, this is what, they ain't say this, but this is what the king of the family was talking about in the first session, and he knew what the hell he was talking about. They didn't say that part. But I was glad to see that, you know, they all came to that consciousness and awareness.
How did you all resolve it after the fight and it was broken up?
Zoe was very apologetic.
Okay.
Immediately she was like, Mom, I'm sorry. I still was like, I need a minute. But after that, because when I get upset, I get upset. Because I rarely get upset. So when I do, it's not good. And so when I was finally able to calm down, you know, and we, like Reid said, we hashed it out. I apologized to them about, you know, taking them to Florida and stuff like that. And then when we got downstairs, we talked some more. And that was it. I mean, I haven't had feel like the fight should have happened sooner. I haven't had any problems ever.
It was a conversation that the fight brought that should
Right,
happen.
the conversation.
Well, I really feel like Lisa and Zoe is the same person. See, there's a whole lot of things that Lisa just has not discussed. Lisa's probably one of the most beautiful, kind-hearted, loyal people that I have ever met. And she always presents herself bubbly, cheerfully, let's have a good time. And the reality is, if Lisa is there, you're going to have a great time. But the reality is, like many comics like myself and people that are funny, have a funny bone, we tend to resort to fun and to funny instead of sitting with our trauma and our pain. And in some ways it helped us bear it. And Lisa's had some trauma. Lisa lost her mom and her dad. And she is not in therapy and counseling concerning that. She basically lost her entire world. And then after that, she went through what she went through with me. You know, the separation and breakup of our family, and then the breakdown of the relationship that she went to, that she had in Florida. That marriage was busted up, and she was cheated on. There's a pain that is there.
I think the altercation opened us all up. First of all, it probably said, you know, I can't fuck with my mama like that, so let me just pull it back. And then another side was, I think I can do better as a mom to show emotion, because I think I don't show emotion because I'm not an emotional female like that.
When we first broke up many years ago, I remember her being used and abused by a church leader to the tune of like $100,000+. I remember her getting pregnant by a married man, standing up in church on YouTube, confessing it, telling all about it, and then her having to abort that baby. Lisa has a lot of trauma she's not sharing. But I feel like if she starts sharing her trauma, which is probably gonna be very painful for her, that all of you guys will be able to see a strength in her and a power in her that you probably didn't even know that she possessed, because she's laughing and she's talking and she's helping you and many of those that are in the Reformation Church of Atlanta, but she is not discussing her pain. I believe that if she begins to discuss her pain and she talks about that it's gonna be good for her and probably good for the girls.
The altercation helped me and Zoe, because when she cried, I cried. When I hugged her, I was crying, she was crying. And I don't show that side of me a lot. And I think that they need to see that side. Because I cry, I do, when I'm by myself. But I don't really show that emotion in front of, but since my mom died, I cry all the time. In a drop of a hat, I'm crying. So that's just how that goes.
Were there moments with you and your mother that you couldn't pull on, that you're pulling on now because she's gone and you don't have that?
When I was younger, I had a great relationship with my mom. It wasn't until when I got older, I found out that my mom was sick. She had bipolar, so when I was a teenager, it was rough living in a house. So I do not want my kids to feel like they're not loved. And sometimes that's probably where my quick forgiveness comes at, when I should be harder, because I don't want them to feel like my mom don't love me, because I felt like that sometimes when it came to my mom. But I know when my mom died and I looked at her, I know my mom loved me. And I just want the same for my kids. I don't want it to be when they see me laying across an altar that they realize that they love their mom or that they love their dad. That's why I want this to be fixed. I don't want them going around thinking like that they're not loved. I don't want them to feel like that they got to make these choices for people that don't love them. Like the friends and stuff that they're doing this for, the acceptance that they're looking for. It's not, I don't like the road that they were going on, because I feel like they're getting on the right path, because their relationships are changing. I love the relationship I see with them and Joshua, and how they're trying to mend that relationship, and with their godparents, because it takes a community. And I don't want them to feel like, the choices that they're making, I don't want them to feel like, now that I've done this, my parents don't love, I'ma always love my kids. And I don't want them to go through life feeling like I felt in my teenage years. So yeah, I pulled on that because it's rough. It's rough. And a mother and daughter relationship needs to be strong.
Well, I had mentioned to my mentor, as you saw in the last episode, that I felt like there was disrespect around here in this community. Well, it looks as though my mentor whispered in the ear of my therapist and got me in a conversation that got me always sitting in the middle of my feelings. I sat right down in the middle of my feelings and I could not brush that thing off. And before I knowed it, I began to talk about my feelings of disrespect and also betrayal. We made the decision I was a little mad with Lisa, but we didn't get into that.
Mad with me, why?
Because she caught, when I was out of town, she caught one of them ordering something to come to the house, intercepted it, and they didn't tell me. I said, we done discussed this before. I have a whole problem when she gonna give me information I didn't know concerning the girl. I don't take no shit. And you do what the hell you say you're gonna do. If I tell you to do something, you better do it. And you not doing it, make me feel disrespected. When I feel disrespected, I turn into somebody else.
Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
It is because...
How long are you able to tell?
I want to pause right there because you're going to keep going and then I'm going to forget.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to interject because Reid he calls that disrespect, okay? But when he's not here and I'm trying to parent and do, I'm trying to build a trust thing with my kids. Mm-hmm. So when that doesn't make sense?
No.
Continue.
Okay, so thank you. And so when I saw it, I saw it and I said, you know what? I put in the text thread with everybody. I said, whenever the girls get mail,
I remember that.
Just let it come to me first. And then I left it at that. Then after I did that, I talked to Zaria. I said, did I not say something about your daddy? I said, you're disrespecting your daddy. Why are you doing this? I said, this better not happen no more. So I scolded her in that way. And then I took the stuff and I threw it away, right? And I didn't think no more of it because it was handled. And I feel like Reid got a lot on his plate, and for him to know every little thing that they do, and if it's handled, it's handled. But because it was handled, I didn't think I had to tell him. And then when it was brought up again, he was like, oh, you disrespecting me again, because I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not a kid, I'm their parent too. Mm-hmm. I took care of it. So you should be glad that I took care of it. That's how I look at it. But now that I see that it really gets on his nerve that he don't know everything, I made it in my mind. I said, you know what? Because before he said it, I said, okay, that's going to be it. But I see Reid doing everything. And I'm like, there's no way you should know. You should just trust me that I'm doing right by the children. And if it's something that comes up that's really, really big, you know, I'm going to tell you, of course I am. Like a boy or something like that. Because I stopped that because that just stuff that they need to ask us together. And so, and then you remember you told us we need to have a text thread? Yeah. They had got away from that. So they had started asking him stuff without asking me. He did some stuff he didn't tell me. I didn't get mad about it, but it let it be me. That was some stuff that happened. Like when her boyfriend came to the house, over to the Bryant's house. I didn't know he was coming. But I didn't make a big deal about it.
Yeah, I did tell you.
No, I didn't know.
Okay, so just so we don't lose,
What I'm saying is, Miss Rosetta, is he's not me. So I had to put that in my mind. Okay, Reid is not me.
Yeah.
So if he wants to know every little thing, then
concerning
fine.
my children.
Yes.
Because I was kept out of their life when it was in Florida, and stuff was hidden from me then. So you cannot act like that did not happen.
That is then.
No. So, it's still occurring because this ain't been about a month. And prior to that conversation, Lisa let her meet some boys at the mall and hid that from me. I had to hear from a third party. So this is not one time. This started in Florida and been going on all the way up until last month. So you can't act like it don't happen. You just can't. And it's not a matter of me not trusting her leadership when it comes to kids. I just think the dynamic got to be fixed that was destroyed when they went to Florida. Went to Florida, had some other person, and I feel like her in an agreement to make choices for the kids and leave my wisdom out of it when I made them. And so
y'all made them.
So what now?
Y'all made them.
There ain't no such thing. She can't make no baby without me.
Y'all made them because she wouldn't have been, if she didn't help you, who would have been carrying the kids?
I get that, but the point is, they come out of me. When there's something going on like them drugs that they was having sent here to the house and Lisa intercepted it and didn't tell me nothing about it, that's a whole problem. And it's a repeat of what was happening when she was married and had them in Florida. All these things were going on with the kids. I had no access to my children. I don't know if you understand this. I'm a helicopter father. So when they were in my home, my girls were in private school, I took care of my children. Because mind you, Lisa traveled a lot. I came off the road. She couldn't stop being in the military. I came off the road, but I could stop preaching and singing around, so I stopped there. And then brought my kids from the Bryant's house, Latrice and Shamako, because they were married at the time, and brought them back in my house along with a couple of assistants that helped me with the kids. And so I made that career sacrifice for the kids. So this is the first time Lisa has ever been able to really mother. She's not gonna like I said that, but it's the truth. Because we've always had assistants. She would mother for a little while, but then she's gone for months or for 2 weeks, and then the separation. Now with the girls home and Lisa home with them, and Lisa being the main one, this has never happened in their entire life. So I'm pretty sure it's different for Lisa. And maybe that's the reason why she's taking the reins and then 86ing me out. Because she's like, I'm grown enough. I'm the parent too. I get that. But both parents is what caused the children to grow, to develop, and they need both energies and both voices. And we're both responsible. And I feel more responsible since they came out of my ball. That's right. They come out of me. All that stuff y'all be talking about, I bore them, y'all really big these women up by bearing these children. And it's a blessing. And we can't do it without them. That's why we'll always honor Lisa as the queen of the family. But if I did not nut in her, she would not have no children. Do y'all understand that? Let me see you have a baby without my nut. I would just like to see that. The squirrels got sense enough to go after the nut. I don't know why y'all keep discounting our nut. We as the fathers, we make the children. You born them. So tell me what the hell is going on with them. Do not keep that. You keep doing it, I can't get past my betrayal thing. I have a responsibility to my seed. And there was somebody else who took that place and I was kept out of that. So that, to me, that was a betrayal.
Of course.
But that was not me.
You allowed it. So
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, but you still allowed it. Happen
Okay,
on your
hold on,
watch.
time out.
But and still it happens now. Because you just said, I'm trying to develop a trust relationship with my kids. What you mean a trust relationship with your kids? And you said you disrespected your daddy house. She disrespected us because we gave her the leadership. So it's like you creating something with the kids, like a friendship or or like a special parent, because we both should be a united front when it comes to telling them stuff. I don't understand that.
The referencing to that happened in Florida, that happened in Florida, that happened in Florida. I don't want to deny the things that happened in Florida, because I think it was very detrimental, but I think there are some things that happened to my girls before Florida. And I feel like that's kind of detrimental as well.
Since the last family session that we've had, I've noticed growth in the girls, especially when it comes to communicating, being honest about things that they're experiencing. I know that there has been some setbacks, but I think overall they have been making more progress. I've noticed improvement also with the parents when it comes to communicating. I know that they can improve some more, but I've noticed that Reid has been able to explain that he felt betrayed.
Zoe always mentioned that she really didn't know who her dad was because he was on the road so much. And then a lot of things happened to them that we didn't know. We just finding out some things happened to them from like members that was in the church that happened to the kids, and we didn't know about it. It's a lot. When you're dealing with trying to be in ministry, you know, things get lost there. And then when I moved to Florida, I wasn't who they were. I was somebody else, just put it that way. I went out, I drank, you know, I went to clubs, and you know, I did a lot of things that they were not used to seeing me do because I was a first lady. You know, I was at home all the time. And so then I worked a lot, and that's where I said, that's what I apologized to my kids for, because I was not present. And when I finally learned some things that they were willingly trying to tell me, I was like, oh my God, you know, I wish I would have known. Because honestly, I wasn't praying like I should, you know, I wasn't. And so when I finally did, I was able to see, okay, something is going on.
I agree with you that should have been communicated when she intercepted with the drugs. That should have been communicated. I still think that there still should be some level of trust between you two, and that goes back to communication. And I understand your point of view of not everything that happens between you and the girls or something happened to girls need to be communicated with him because it's not that serious. But when it comes to dealing with drugs and the boys and, you know, it's something, even with grades and stuff like that, that definitely needs to be communicated. But when it comes to mother and daughter things, them growing up as teenagers, there's things that only mom can teach her as a woman, but also from you being the father, being the male, there's things that you can teach her about a man, or baby girl, don't allow this to happen to you because I'm a man, so I know how men think. So yes, you both need that trust level, but you still have to trust her to make those decisions. But I think that you still have to work towards forgiving her for what happened in Florida and not constantly bring that up, because when you continue to bring it up, it never goes away. It's like you take one step forward and 5 steps back. And if you continue to bring that up, then that communication between y'all is never going to heal. It's never going to be the A1. And then when that happens, guess who's watching? The girls. Yeah. And they going to cause that.
I don't want to act like I'm over there. I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't also.
Oh, so you're not, because you've been saying you was over it.
No, I'm not over the betrayal. Absolutely not. And I may have said I was over it because I was thinking, I still love Lisa. I respect and honor and trust you when it comes down to the girl, but I'm not over that. I know I'm not. Especially being that stuff still happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, they really don't get it. That really fucked up my head. I mean, cause it was a betrayal. I feel like my family totally betrayed me.
Gotcha.
What do y'all feel about that?
I don't feel like it has anything to do.
You don't feel like it has anything to do with y'all?
No, not really. You guys' relationship.
You whispering to I can't.
You guys' relationship. I don't think it has anything to do with us.
Yeah.
No, when I say I felt like my family betrayed me, what did you think about that?
All I could think about is what I've done. Like the decisions that I've made.
Okay. I get that.
What about you, Zoe?
I don't think I've done anything that will cause him to think that I betrayed him. Like, I know I have a smart mouth, but that's all.
No, I mean, y'all kids. You're disrespectful as hell and selfish, but y'all kids. So they want to my boat. I did feel like, and I don't even want to say, because I don't want them to put that on them.
Okay.
Because they were put in a bad situation by our decision. Mm-hmm. So I really don't put that on them. But I was having to like, dog, ain't somebody gonna say, well, I know that we're moving on with our life and another family, but we can't replace Daddy and cut him out and just act like he don't exist.
I didn't do that.
Yes.
No, I
can see why he would think that.
Yes.
I did not do that.
Okay, well, let me explain, and you tell me if you did this or not. When the girls left with you and went to Florida. Now, when it was in North Carolina, they won the game. This was when they got to Florida. Because in North Carolina, I still know what was going on with the girls. We communicated, you talked to me, but when you moved from North Carolina to Florida and got married, all communication concerning the girls was totally cut. I didn't know anything. I didn't know their school. I didn't know the name of their school. I was not even in contact with their school. You did do it. And I'm the parent.
Yeah.
I couldn't call.
Do you see what he's saying though?
I see what he's saying, but he didn't communicate that to me. I feel like if he had been more vocal and more communicating more how he was really feeling, I don't think none of this would have, I'm not trying to put it on him, but I just feel like a lot of this stuff would have, because I listened to Reid. I mean, I was married to him for almost 18 years. So yes, I listened. So if we would have had those conversations where what he was saying in counseling, that's why I was so riled up, because I'm like, you never said this, you never voiced this, so how am I supposed to know? I'm not a psychic. When I did talk to you, you didn't say anything about it.
I did say.
I could have done better at communicating. Only time you communicated that to me was when what happened to Zoe. After that, and when that was done, I didn't hear nothing else from you.
Yeah,
I didn't know. So this is what's making me upset. Mm-hmm. I didn't know the things that was going through Reid's head. And even when he was saying that he was poor at that time, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. He didn't say nothing. So how do you expect for me to know what's going on with you and you ain't tell me?
I told you I just didn't communicate it well. I said certain things. I said, okay, I was thinking, it was a lack of communication on my part, because I said, surely Lisa knows if I'm asking her for $200 a month of her return, because when we got divorced, I told her, I don't want your military retirement, because you're supposed to have a part of it. I said, I'm a nigga. You keep your money. Mm-hmm. But I said, I just need $200 a month, so I know something is coming in, that I'm doing these other 3 things over here, so that I can come. At the time, my budget was $1,800 a month, which was a lot of money at the time. So I'm thinking, if she I'm calling, asking her that, and she know how I am, there's something going on. But I shouldn't assume that, but that's what I thought. And so when she was like, let me ask my spouse, like, nigga, you know me all your life. And when y'all was saying, I haven't paid no bills, I'm in a situation, help me out.
But he didn't say
I didn't say
and
that.
So
I didn't have a word to say that.
I was married, okay? Even when I was married to Reid, I was like that. When my parents would ask me for money, I say, let me ask Reid. And if you would say yes or no, most times you said no, I tell them no. And so that's who I am. You know that's how I am.
Yeah, but I couldn't. I know that, but I'm like, you don't know this person. You don't even know this person. I mean, you married them, but you only knew them like maybe almost a year before you got married. You don't know this person. You know me, and you know if it was you, I would have moved heaven and earth.
But okay.
But I never known Reid to not have.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So
Right.
that's the thing. I didn't. So by me saying no, I didn't have it. I thought he was gonna be okay. But had he said what he's been telling the story now, I would have went behind her back and did it.
Yeah,
but I didn't know.
I believe that.
Can you forgive her?
I forgave her. This is still sitting right here.
No.
No, you always bring it up.
You
Okay,
haven't truly forgiven her though.
Okay, I don't have anything. Maybe I haven't. I'm gonna say maybe I haven't, but I think I have. But maybe I have not. I don't 100% know. But I know that usually when I don't forgive focus up, I don't have like this. God bless Rosetta. God bless her. She's such a blessing. But she almost got up under my nerves a little bit. I almost came up out that chair on her. But it really was because of what she was saying. She was making me think and taking me too darn fast. I just got here to my mom and daddy stuff and we good. So I'm a little sensitized. And what I realized is that the betrayal, I'm not over it. I'm not over it. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to be over? And then every time I turn around, I should do the same darn thing again, hiding something as these children up under my nose in my own house. I think I've forgiven her, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I haven't. I don't know every darn thing here. I'm smart, but I don't know everything. Maybe I haven't. I think I have. Because usually when I don't forgive folks, I don't fool up. I don't fuck with you. And I actually want stuff to happen to you. So I don't think that I have not forgiven her. I'm just not healed from the betrayal and the attempt to replace me as father and dad.
Even though you may believe you have forgiven her, that doesn't mean that you won't still interact with her, because y'all have history, but y'all also have children. So co-parenting is going to be a must. So sometimes you're going to have to put whatever you're feeling inside towards that person aside to get what needs to be done.
So maybe I put it to the side and haven't really sat with it and forgave.
Yeah.
Especially when I haven't fully given voice to it until now. So that I need to consider that then.
Yeah. Also, since you brought up how you felt about the betrayal and things happening with the drugs, I would say to you, Lisa, is to be more intentional about communicating. Especially with the when it's something outside of them being just girls growing up. You know what I mean, going through the motions and stuff like that. But when it's something that like, okay, I need to make sure I let him know so that he is aware and he doesn't have to have something in the background, so I wonder what's going on. So that way you guys can still build that trust as parents. I know y'all still friends, but even on a deeper level, that friendship that you guys have. So I think that would definitely be good. Just being intentional about the communication, what's going on, transparent, and holding each other accountable, including the girls, when it comes to the thread that you guys have of what's going on. I think that would definitely be
It's hard to get them to. It's hard to get them to ask us both. I guess they're so used to going to one or going to the other.
Going to my parents, it's a little bit challenging because you don't know what they're gonna say. Sometimes it'd be out of pocket. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, most of the time they are out of pocket.
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard to speak to them, but then again, if we want to see exactly where their heads are at, we probably should communicate with them.
It's much easier to talk to one parent than the other. Now it is.
Yeah.
So it may be easier, but it's not healthier, especially when there's constantly maybe disagreements and they both living under the same roof. Both live under the same roof. So when it comes to, if they come and ask one for something, like, redirect them. Hey, have you talked to your mom or have you talked to your
That's
dad?
what we normally do.
Because then that'll help redirect them to get into the mindset. You know what? Let me just go through this group thread and get whatever
That's
I need.
what we do.
Because if you don't do that, then it's gonna constantly back and forth. You know what I'm saying, with what's going on, and you don't want that. Because at the end of the day, when Xaria leaves, you still have a few more years to work with Zoe. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that communication is strong.
We hopefully Xaria stay until we finish with Zoe and then tell them both goodbye together.
That's a whole other session.
I don't think Reid understands. I think he think we were in Florida having a peachy cream life, and that was not the case.
From that.
Not the case at all. I think it was because he wasn't in it. He feels like that we was just doing, bliss. Life is bliss. No, it was hell.
I also think you missed his friend.
So what?
He didn't act like it.
I think you missed your friend.
What you mean, me?
Me, you missed me as a friend.
I know.
Anyway, but my thing is,
let me think.
You missed your friend.
You know, I'm not good with this kind of stuff. I get in my head, and it takes me forever to get to my heart. I won't get to the real answer until probably about a couple of weeks. So I'm just gonna listen to what you said.
Yes. So you were saying,
and so it was not. The girls can attest. It was not all good, and so
I know it was very bad for Zoe.
It was very bad. And I didn't know how bad it was for Zoe. Zari was
it was bad for both of you, but it was very bad for Zoe.
So I really didn't know about Zoe until we got back here. But Zaria, I knew because I was always up in Zaria's face all the time. So, and there were times when I was asked to punish the kids, and I'd be like, "For what? No, I'm not doing it. I don't understand." I don't understand, why am I doing it? So I'm not gonna do it. And so there were times, like that last time about Zoe, they were crying, saying that we always had an argument about me and Reid's relationship. And so, and to hear Reid talk about it, we didn't have a relationship during that time. But she's like, you're always defending him. You always, he's always, I don't know why, because he's controlling. And I said, well, I don't think he's controlling. He's don't control. So it was a lot of arguments.
She was insecure.
Right, insecure. A lot of arguments going on between she and I about him. And then the reason why we broke up was because I was texting Reid something, and it was a little flirtatious. It was. And I left my phone on the I left my phone under my pillow because I was going to go get some pizza. And when I got back, they was like, I thought you wasn't talking to him. I thought you wasn't I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dang, I forgot to delete my text. And so that's how that went. And so from then on, it was like everything just went downhill. And I was like, okay, well.
Because we were sneaking, talking. We were not being inappropriate because she was married. That no one put that. But we were being friends. And you know what I had to do? What? I had to let Lisa tell me off and act like we weren't dealing. She said, when I call you, make sure. I can't believe I did it. I was talking to Marco about this stuff, but I said, I was really out of my mind. Because I shouldn't have let nobody do me like that. But I did it for her. She said, I got to call you. I got to push you out and tell you I won't talk to you no more. Leave me alone, da-da-da. I'm like, all right, I got you. And let her and play that role.
But you were being a friend, though, despite of you guys being divorced. But you kind of knew there was some type of stuff going on in between that relationship, even if you didn't know in depth.
I didn't know from her, but I knew. I had a couple of dreams. I said, this girl is trying to take my place. And we was on the phone one day. She didn't even know that girl was trying to seed my children against me. She didn't even know it until Zara said it on the phone. Y'all was still in Florida.
So with that, so both parties didn't know what the other party was really truly dealing with. So I think, like I said, work towards that forgiveness, but being able to just have a clean slate and start from where you guys are now. One, being able to be intentional about communicating with each other.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys.
Sounds good. A clean slate sounds good. Clean slate. So we're gonna start over again. I'm good with that, and I can do that. If you don't do that again, that probably will help me heal.
Clean slate.
That's hard.
But of course, being more intentional about communicating now that you are aware of how he feels, and because what happens when we forgive and we intentional about forgetting, but sometimes the other party are not aware of what's going on, and they do things to
re-injure.
Yeah, trigger you to bring up something else. So just sometimes you have to over communicate about what's going on, and to be like.
And there's a way that we can do that without you feeling. So you said, "I don't trust you." That is so not true. That is not the truth.
What does it feel like?
I get that. But I'm saying now it should be clear to what my problem is and what it's not.
I get it now.
I mean, because the whole reason why I was moving in together with kids goes after them staying with me a while, because it took a year before she came from Florida back here after the kids came. About 4 months in, I said, ugh, they got me, but now they don't have Lisa. So I knew they need their mom, who is a female like them. And so I wouldn't have been pro this if I didn't trust her, and I knew she would be. In fact, I tell her all the time, Lisa, I say this, it'll be like you. So yeah, that's not the case. It's just that whole, I haven't worked through that betrayal thing.
I also think that maybe you guys should hang out every now and then, just you two.
Now wait a minute, Rosetta, that's gonna go the wrong way.
You went there, I didn't go there.
We can't do that.
I was thinking more. I was thinking more on the lines of like.
We'll have to do it with other people. We can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just not the way.
I was just thinking about brunch, like maybe coffee or something, just you guys communicating. Tea or something, like just to communicate outside of the girls.
Reid and I having coffee. I understand what she means. I mean, I can do it. I don't think Reid can handle going on a date with me. Not by himself.
Do you know my penis made to be in Lisa's puss? So how in the whole hell and the heaven I'm gonna go out with us by ourselves and have a conversation and have laughs and we not be fricking? That's not how it works between me and Lisa. We front at church. We front in the church while the preacher was preaching. We front at Busch Gardens. We front in the back of a station wagon. We front behind the church. We pull off the side of the road in the field and front. We have been front our whole life since we were little children. So my peen is made for her puss. So we can't go out like that. That's just not gonna happen. We can't do it. Y'all do that kind of stuff? Somebody end up pop up pregnant. That would be the worst thing in the world, because I'm not wearing no condom. I'm gonna make sure she check, make sure she ain't got no HIV, STD, and no STIs. And then we go to town. I'm gonna play no wig. Well, see, that's the reason why we can't go out, because she be laughing at me, I'm cutting up, and then we fucking. It's just, we can't do that. That's a piece of homework that she has given unto us that we shall not do, lest we end up with 2 more children.
See where your mind at? Right. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Just to be honest, Reid and I think there's still an attraction there, but I don't think that for the sake of the kids, which I don't think they care, but I don't think for the sake of the kids that's not what we came back together for. We came back together to raise our children.
That is just not smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to make this worse.
Okay.
Maybe not in the beginning,
but at some point, yeah. Because that's the part of building that trust, that communication again between y'all too. Because at the end of the day, just because the girl's out of the house, you guys are still going to be co-parents for the rest of their life until somebody passes. So you guys have to be able to call one another if something goes wrong with one of the girls and y'all don't know what's going on, don't know how to, y'all have to be able to still be that support system for each other. It doesn't have to be romantic, but you guys still need to have some type of communication, some type of trust there.
Yeah. Your eyes getting watered. What you feeling?
Cause I'm feeling feelings, and it's like,
oh, it's good. We don't want you to know. Look what the Lord has done.
Stop. Yeah. I know. Jesus Christ. You gotta.
Like white people.
You have to see it,
yes,
but not necessarily
you can
acknowledge it.
Right.
Because they tend to shut it down again.
Okay, you're right.
When others are noticing.
Okay. She having feelings. Listen, it was. I really need you guys to. How about we just cut to the video of Zoe and Exari when it was in my room and I was live on IG.
I don't know how I know myself, but I do. And my emotions turn off. Almost every day I wake up and I don't feel nothing. So I don't understand. Why?
Well, see, this but she's the opposite. She wakes up and feels everything.
Prime example, you know, when we be praying, which one is always crying?
Zaria. Because she feels everything.
And you're the one like, okay.
She feels everything. So in a little presence of Jesus, she gonna feel it.
But the thing is, she needs to feel everything.
And so this Zoe.
I don't know how.
What's the thing? You're the same. You're the exact same. You are numb naturally. She feels everything naturally. You want her to stop.
Because I don't want her to become like me. I want to feel something. After being numb for like almost half of my years, I want to feel something. And she will feel that way when she becomes numb.
See, she said she has trouble feeling and Exaria feels too much. That's why she wants to smoke weed to escape her feelings. But in the session today, her eyes got filled with water. She began to speak and I could tell that she was feeling what she was saying and was in the discussion. I was so proud of that chick. Oh my God. I was so proud of my daughter allowing herself to feel and seeing that having feelings is not weak. I think there's some side of me that's a little piece like that. But anyway, we're talking about Zoe. So God bless Zoe. So proud of you, Zoe.
What I initially thought about my emotions at first was like I didn't want anything to do with emotions. But like now I'm like seeing my sister and stuff, it makes me want to like heal a little.
That's a good thing though.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving God praise. I feel the praise right now, but you shut me down.
It's not I'm shutting down. Just quench. We don't want to to go back in that shell.
When you preside over surface, though, you still push the
But we have surface.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
I feel quenched.
Let me say this. You have helped us so much.
I'm glad. I think that if the family is intentional about healing and building a stronger bond, that they will continue to work on communication with each other. But I also think at the core of it is if the parents are able to be intentional about communicating and expressing how they feel when it comes to their relationship that they had, as far as a friendship, and just as co-parents, I think once all of that is taken care of, I think you will continue to see a stronger bond between the children and the parents in the open communication and the continue of unconditional love, and the kids to continue to feel like they're protected by their parents.